Damn it, guys, he's taken. And I'm not into guys, so it doesn't work. Shipping must be logical. It must adhere to logic. Yeah, exactly, Clavian. Congrats. You have the you're like top of your class, and I forget all the qualifications. They list them at the beginning of Half-Life 1. They're like you and this and this and that and that and this and that and that, and it's just this huge list that would basically guarantee him one of the best jobs in the world. And then he goes and pushes buttons and whatnot at Black Mesa. Well, I was joking with that one. I would never legitimately do that. Oh, God. I keep swinging at the frickin' antlions. Hey, Fearsome. Woo! I am a voice from your computer. Nothing? Okay. I know all and see all. Zero out Enigma. Now a crowbar run. Actually, the crowbar does a surprisingly large amount of damage. Its only real downside is the fact that it's a melee weapon. Lol, Deacon. Thoughts on the verticality of this section? It would have been better, I feel, if it was a little better labeled. I knew that I was climbing up that cliff because I remember this section. I remember it especially because I used to be here and be like, where the hell am I supposed to go? And, you know, it never worked. So, yeah, I wish that was a little better labeled. As I said before, one of the only real complaints I have about this game is the fact that every now and again it's just like, where the hell am I supposed to go? You know? Yes, Halfman, I know everything. I control everything. I started everything. Speaking of fun sections to play through, the infiltration of Nova Prospekt. Now, I gotta be honest, I used to try and come up with a strategy for doing what I'm doing now, just blitzing through here. I have never succeeded in it. I'm pretty sure even on easy difficulty I wouldn't be able to do this. I'm sorry, Lava Dude. It's all on YouTube if you want to watch it. That was actually a couple weeks ago now. When I streamed it, I mean. I am secretly Showdown. Damn it. I don't remember where to go. Welcome to Half-Life 2. Where am I supposed to go? Yes, Fearsome, there are no flaws to this game whatsoever, even though I mentioned one like 5 seconds ago. Oh, you have to? Oh, okay. I don't even remember. I mean, I usually just take them out because they're there, and I have missiles, and there's a missile crate up ahead. What's $10? Undertale? Eh, I'd recommend it. And not because it's one of the best games ever. been a lot of pendulum theory yeah, pendulum theory when it comes to Undertale, I'll tell you what. They actually have anti-air or anti-missile chaff, which can make some of these interesting. They almost never used it on this, it looks like, because they use it all the frickin' time on harder difficulties. I think it's pretty obvious the answer to that at this point, Fearsome, since I'm playing Half-Life 2. Okay, so I took out a gunship, and then I go this way? Aha, yes, here, right here. That's right. Welcome to Nova Prospect. Which is another one of those, oh god, I'm lost sections. Seriously, I get pretty lost in Nova Prospect. I mentioned that earlier, way at the beginning of the game. This used to be a prison. Prisons are already disgusting, decrepit, horrible, terrible things that should never exist, so... No, Fearsome. The idea of adding what they do here to this place is just kind of messed up. And by kind of messed up, I mean extremely messed up. One of my favorite parts about Nova Prospect, though, despite the fact that the Combine controls this place, they don't really have a particularly large amount of control over this place. If that makes any sense. By the way, Proto, come on. Fine. They don't have a fairly large amount of control over this place. The antlions are constantly attacking it, and there are headcrab problems everywhere. And again, as I mentioned before, the Combine don't actually control the headcrabs. They may unleash them, but they don't control them at all. Yeah, this is one of the main rooms where they do, places where they do conversions. They also do interrogations, experiments, and this is where they're trying to perfect their teleportation technology. With one of the, ethics are for other people kind of mentalities. Like I said, this is probably the most quiet, implied horror place in the entire game, especially because of the fact that for the most part, we don't actually see anything. Now, please feel free to correct me, because I don't recall ever seeing any of the actual horrible stuff they do here, but they do horrible stuff here. I mean, the conversion process itself is just, ugh. Yeah, so first we're going to remove your skin. Snip, snip, snip. Like, that's the first step, is removing your skin. Oops. Actually, yes, Baronessa. Funny you mentioned that. Also, the place is completely broken down, which, and I hate to repeat myself for the 50th time, is yet another example of the Combine's approach to things. They don't care. I really genuinely think the Combine are actually, if I was to put my money on it, yeah, by the way, the inspiration for the turrets and portal very clearly here. If I was to put my money on it, I would say that the Combine are one of those, and we have become the natural evolution of a species kind of villains. In other words, we have evolved to the point where survival is all that matters, and living doesn't exist anymore. I could probably explain that more, but I feel like that really just gets across the point beautifully right there. We no longer care about anything that actually matters in living, like, say, come on. Like, you know, art or culture or science or people or ethics or morality or anything like that. All we care about is accomplishing whatever goals we have. Again, that survival mentality. There we go. Well, some people do, Kamek. Some people do call that. Some people think that is the natural way, and I mean this truthfully. Some people think in real life that that is where human beings are going, to the point where living doesn't matter, and survival is all that does. So, all of that is all over the place here. They could, I mean, how many other conquering powers across fiction would bother to try and, for lack of a better term, terraform? You know, try and make Earth a little more like them. Everything they set up, you know, if they set up this prison, Nova Prospekt, which is their important, you know, one of their major bases and a place where they do their conversions, they would have it well entrenched, sure, but they would also have it, you know, converted. They would have set down their own. Oh, that could be Jasper. Oh well, they have their own stuff set up. They have. I don't even know how to explain this. Like the Empire in Star Wars would move in and just like, yep. No, they would actually set up their own equipment, their own walls, their own aesthetic style, their own technology, that kind of a thing, right? Even Zod tried to terraform Earth, and he was an idiot. He did not find him. He will not find him. Yeah, just a second here. Yes, the Combine can be infected by head crabs, yes, and it's kind of messed up when you think about it. Anyways, my point here is Nova Prospekt is the best way that they get across visually, again, that brilliant visual storytelling, of how the Combine think. They could have really set themselves up in this place. They could have established a new fortress. They could have built it with their own technology. They could have reinforced it with their own. But instead they just kind of smack their technology on it like a cancer. Remember I mentioned that earlier? The design of the cancerous Combine technology on the buildings? It's the exact same thing here. That's how they think. That's what they care about. They just smack it on and say, here, it'll work. They don't care that it could work better. They don't care that it could work nicer or that it could be more aesthetically pleasing. They don't give a damn. All they care about is if it works. They're not even that interested in the bottom line like your standard corporate villain would be. They're just like, yep, it works, the end. I feel that also explains their approach to the oh shoot, what do they call it? The augmentation that they do. The processing people into the cyborg slaves thing. Now, I don't just mean the fact that they do it, although I've already talked about that back when I was talking about the organic ship thing. What I mean is, I'm probably the worst person to comment on this, but you guys know me. I don't believe in that pain is a good thing. I know, weird mentality, but there it is. So, if I was in a weird situation where I was conquering a people and had to convert them into Borg or whatever, their own good, I would try to do it as painlessly as possible. I would try to make sure that the patients were, oh yeah, there's a lot of interesting thoughts there, by the way. The Vortigaunt being experimented on. Yeah, lots of implications there. Anyways, you know, it's like you go into a hospital. The hospitals don't perform surgery on you while you're still conscious and awake, do they? Of course they don't. That would be inhumane. That would be morally and ethically bankrupt, frankly. And people would look at that like, no, God, that's terrible. And yet the Combine just don't care. So they could make it so you're not in horrible pain, and they could make it so they don't convert you while you're awake and conscious. But why bother? I mean, what's the point in caring, right? Are the effects too high? I can't tell. I can't hear what you guys can hear. Sound check, as we in the business say. what flipping that switch does. Welcome to Our Shit Gets Lost in Nova Prospect. I gotta be honest, I'm kind of rushing through this section because this section is really horrifying to me. Oh yeah, that was for that field. Well, I'm not saying that, Titans, but I have heard other people make that argument. Again, even in real life. Although you do kind of hear that sort of thing in fiction as well. See a lot of characters who view the xenomorph of aliens as the ultimate life form. One of the main reasons they tend to do so is because it reveres survival above all other considerations. No, Omni, actually I am not. I'll be watching a Formula 1 race. Well, possibly Night Forwarder, not necessarily. It would, however, make it a lot simpler and easier to do than having to actually put effort into the process. Okay, Omni. Ash Dragoon? You're gonna have to clarify for me on that one. I think Aliens 3 is a terrible movie, director's cut or no? Yes, I've watched both. No, I don't care. Oh, the android from Alien. Right, right. Alright, I got this, guys. All I have to do is go through at full tilt velocity and we'll be good. Yeah! Yeah, so that would basically kill you instantly. Come on. Oh, I'm stuck. There we go. Yay, I'm free. Hey, let me make this clear. I don't agree with the idea of survival over life. In my opinion, survival is meaningless without life. And that's just my honest, blunt opinion on that one. Furthermore, I'm also one of those weirdos who believes that altruism is not only a real thing, but a good thing. I have heard people argue that altruism isn't real and doesn't exist, which, obviously I disagree with. Hey, they didn't really need that air conditioning. Honestly, actually. No, there's nothing wrong with that, Chaos. It's easy to care about these wonderful little guys. Aha! I've been asked to say a few words to the transhuman arm of Sector 17 Overwatch concerning recent successes in containing members of this Resistance science team. Let me say up front that I regret having to temper my heartfelt congratulations with a strong measure of disappointment. But I wouldn't be doing my duty as your administrator if I didn't pass along the message I have received from our benefactors. Our benefactors. The capture of Eli Vance is an event of major significance, make no mistake. And while it's true that conceivably we could have taken him at almost any time in the last several years, the manner of his capture may prove unexpected benefits. Frickin' politician. Hey, It cannot have gone unnoticed by all Resistance members that the Dr. Vance's capture coincided with the act of giving shelter to Gordon Freeman. This might cause other Resistance members to think twice before harboring Dr. Freeman. It might cause them to question his allegiance, and even prompt him then to turn him out, or turn him over to our cause. Oh, I actually aimed a grenade right. I'm terrible with grenades. However, we cannot count on such developments. Dr. Freeman's reputation is such that other desperate renegades are likely to grant him a great deal of license in the spirit of spreading general chaos and terror. This brings me to one note of disappointment I must echo from our benefactors. Obviously, I'm not on the ground to closely command or second-guess the dedicated forces of the Overwatch, but this does not mean I shirk responsibility for recent lapses and even outright failures on their part. I have been severely questioned about these shortcomings, and must put this question to you. I'm talking a little faster than he is, because I want to make sure you get all of it. How could one man have slipped through your force's fingers time and time again? How is it possible? This is not some agent provocateur or highly trained assassin we're discussing. Gordon Freeman is a theoretical physicist who hardly had earned the distinction of his PhD by the time of the Black Mesa incident. I have good reason to believe that in the intervening years he was in a state that precluded further development of his covert skills. The man you have constantly failed to slow, let alone capture, is by all standards a simple, ordinary man. And I lost the rest of that. That's why I was trying to read quickly. But I love that section where he's like, you people are terrible. You can't even take out a theoretical physicist. What is wrong with you people? Of course, we've already discussed that and the significance of the plot. Bam! Claymore. Sorry. Oh, well, I will leave the upbraiding for another time. To the extent that it proves necessary. Now is the moment to redeem yourselves. If the transhuman forces, those are the people who've had their skin and organs ripped out, are to prove themselves an indispensable augmentation to the Combine Overwatch, they will have to earn the privilege. I'm sure I don't have to remind you that the alternative, if you can call it that, is total extinction, in union with other unworthy branches of the species. Again, that's the carrot and the stick approach that they employ. You know, this gun's probably really loud. Just occurred to me, I'm going to use something that's like this loud. I've done my best to convince our benefactors that you are the finest our species has to offer. So they have accepted my argument, but without concrete evidence to back it up, my words sound increasingly hollow even to me. The burden of proof is on you. As for the consequences of failure, as is the consequence of failure, I'll just leave it at that.
Proof is on you. As is the consequence of
there we go.
I'll just leave it at that.
Now, the funny thing here, some people have used that little tidbit as evidence of the fact that the transhumans still have some degree of self to them. As I've said before, I'm pretty damn sure that's not actually true. I'm pretty sure the transhuman people are less than robots at this point in time. Hell, arguably less than animals at this point in time, with just base instincts. So, so I think this is basically Breen. Oh yeah, so this is what human beings look like when they're being augmented, by the way. As you can see, the skin is stripped off. Most of the organs are ripped out, and energy ports are put in place. Oh, and by the way, that's what happens to your face. So there you go, transhumanization. If you sign up for transhumanization, you get increased rations, which is hilarious, by the way, because you don't need to eat while you're a transhuman. And here's someone in mid-transformation. Yeah! Yeah, so in case you guys thought I was making it up when I talked about how ridiculously horrible— get out of my way— the transhuman Combine thing is, no, I wasn't even exaggerating. If anything, I was underselling it. It's pretty bad. Yeah, exactly, Dr. Brand. I was going to point out his politician style of word choice there. He is literally threatening his own soldiers, who don't have a mind to be threatened with, as I already pointed out, and not taking ownership of that threat, and constantly couching his words in politician speak. Wait, is this the funny one? No, it's not the funny one. One of them has them getting mauled by the Antlion Queen. Actually, I think I killed the Antlion Queen, so that might be why it isn't happening. Anyways, God, he just pisses me off. Hey, guys. Alright, listen. Have you thought about the benefits of becoming a dead human instead of a transhuman? Talk to me to learn more. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh, this looks like an arena. Oh, that's a... Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's really messed up. Yeah, the Breencasts are there for the benefit of Gordon, and, if I might say so, for Breen himself. As I said before, I personally adhere to the theory that Breen is completely delusional, and actually believes his own bullshit. Excuse my language. Because he just preaches and pontificates about, oh, the furthering of the human species requires the lubrication of denobulous I'm not good at that kind of speech, so forgive me. But, you know, he's just trying to make himself sound like a smarty, snooty jackass, when in fact he's just a jackass who also happens to be snooty. Pisses me off. Anyways. That's actually a really good question, Darkrai, and I've actually pondered that myself, but as Vista points out, sometimes civil protection guys don't actually get augmentation. So, in several... It's actually possible for him to basically just put on the outfit and play the part. It's also possible they could have gotten a hold of an outfit and just put him in it, if you know what I mean. And just given him a stolen or hacked ID tag, and there you go. Breen is much stupider than Hojo. Hojo may not be a scientist, but Breen... Breen... You know why Breen is worse than Hojo? Because Breen is directly responsible for a lot of really horrible things, and the overall degradation of the species. The whole species. Try to imagine how many people you can say have had an impact on an entire species of people. Just picture that for a moment. Why is this on fire? Oh, well, whatever. I thought at least some of Civil Protection was augmented. I could be wrong. I don't know this game that well, as I've already implied. No, I'm going backwards. I was supposed to go this way. Hey, Shadow, welcome back, dude. Yeah, yes. I've kind of stopped pointing out the examples of the Combine tech and the overall theme arcs and whatnot because there's so many of them in this game. It's all over the place, and I don't want to just feel like I'm constantly repeating myself. Oh no, I think Breen does I personally think Breen does genuinely think he's doing good. I think he is just that delusional and that stupid to actually believe that. Also, if the CPs are not augmented at all, that makes the beating Squosha thing a little more sinister. Where the hell am I supposed to go? Well, I'm lost. Again. I was hoping to at least show off the one more room, but I may just go ahead and load the save that I should have at the Citadel, because I really want to show off a couple things at the Citadel. There's a window. I can go through a window. This isn't okay. This might be another example of that gamer logic flaw I mentioned earlier. There's only like 3 windows you can go through in the whole game, and so I usually, when I see a window, I think impenetrable barrier that I cannot bypass. Ah, there it is. There we go. And I didn't even notice that one was open. Oh, hey, we're just going to watch the show on this. Surely my scent is stronger. Actually lived through a full clip of that. Yeah, the matriarch apparently understands the true nature of gold. There we go. That's a good question, Kemek. For the world, yes, I do think the planet could recuperate. I think that is possible for that to be a thing. For the species, that's a lot trickier of a question. Now, it is worth noting that my belief in the planet being fixed involves it basically accepting alien terraforming. That has already happened, as we pointed out. The antlions, the skull-crushing things, the presence of the head crabs, etc. But, so here we have these freaking things. And again, this is just that wonderful, cancerous technological approach in a nutshell. Also, I get stuck here. Like, a lot. Like, most of the times I play this game, I get stuck here. Now, I know where to go now because I remember. But if you stay in here too long, these things basically move forward. I want to show you it. Come on. Move. One of them move. Move. Basically, these things slowly move forward and mulch everything in their path. We still don't know the actual point of these things. We don't know how these things function. Or I suppose I should say why. Oh, here we go, here we go. I'll actually showcase one. The most common theory I hear, which is actually my own theory as well, by the way, or rather I adhere to it, is that this is their way of basically building. They set up these things, and they just kind of very slowly mulch forward and crush everything that's in their path, and kind of create this new, horrible, cancerous technology in its place. The Citadel itself uses the same kind of a thing, so... If anybody else has any other, theories, please feel free to share them, because that's like the only theory I've ever heard about those things. So... That was actually the last part I wanted to show you, but, as you can see, we're basically here at the end of Nova Prospekt. Yeah, I am too. Do you mind letting me in? Worst theory ever.
Let's get out of here.
Now, that is true, Vista. It is entirely possible that the planet will not be able to sustain human life in any significant manner in the future. If we are not adaptable enough, if we don't have the technology enough. Actually, okay, that never occurred to me either. You're talking about the ones in Primus, right? That literally never occurred to me. Hey, Alex.
I'm afraid I'm flying blind here. Every now and then a Vortigaunt gets captured and sends back information, but we don't have a complete picture of the place. The little we do know is all bad.
By the way, I want you to think about, again, the implied horror there. AKA, the only intel they have on this place is that every now and again a Vortigaunt gets caught and sends back intel. First of all, it fully indicating that the Vortigaunts do have some kind of connection with each other. And second of all, well, I think you know the second of all.
Get ready.
But yeah, it is entirely possible the human race is quite literally doomed. Just period. Human race might not be salvable at this point. It's one of the reasons I pointed out that lack of economy thing earlier.
Right.
That's significant.
Over here.
So these things are the worst prisons in the freaking universe.
Now to find my father.
I mean, really. I
Oh my god.
don't know if you've ever seen the inside of a cell,
Poor people.
but I want you to picture
There.
that that's your cell.
All right, I think I can bring him in.
That is your prison. This is how they actually imprison people. They don't use the shells. You notice nobody was in any of the cells in the prison. They use these things. That's how they keep you imprisoned.
He's on the
They
way.
literally
Let's go
put
meet
you in a freaking mobile coffin. I don't know if you guys have claustrophobia like I do, but I want you to kind of picture being in one of those things. If you think that's bad, we'll get a nice up-close picture of it pretty soon.
Done. Follow me.
I don't actually have real claustrophobia, like I do real arachnophobia, but I do not like enclosed spaces. At all. Again, though, these prisons very much speak to the mindset of the Combine. We don't care about you. We don't care about your comfort or your rights or your decency. You're a prisoner. Have fun.
Come on.
Axcac, I'm pretty sure they would just go where they are.
He should be in here.
That's, of course, assuming you get food, which it's entirely possible you don't. So, there's a fun thought. You either starve to death in there if they don't
There
get
he
to you in
is.
time for transhumanization, or you get tossed into the transhumanization thing.
All right. Let me see.
How's
if
that
I
sound
can
for
get this
fun?
open.
So yeah, this is what this looks like. I really want you to pay attention here. That is, again, how that's your prison, right there. By the way, no light inside there. Just clamped in, can't move your arms, can't move your legs, stuck in the
Dad,
coffin,
you all right?
in the clamps.
Fine, but you've got to get out.
We're here to get you out, Dad.
Never mind me. Save yourselves.
No, we're not leaving you. I think I can recalibrate the Combine portal to get us out.
I gotta be honest, one thing that always pisses me off is we just leave the rest of these people in
I
these
talked to
coffins.
Dr. Kleiner. His portal was almost working again. If he's managed to repair it, we'll end up
To ensure
there.
they don't wipe out anyone else like they did us, Night Forager.
It couldn't be any worse
We may not
off.
be able to make good happen, but we can prevent bad from happening.
I can't lose you. Get out while you can.
We're not leaving here without you. That's final.
We can't leave Judith here either.
Don't worry, Dad. We'll find her. For now, I'm going to send you to the teleport chamber. I'm not saying goodbye, Dad. We'll meet you there.
I know you will. I'll see you there, baby.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Most of these people will become those stalkers. Isn't that fun?
Let's get out of here.
Of course, Kay. Bye. One thing I like, some people have complained about the fact that she can so casually hack the Combine technology. I mean, she literally just is like, bzzz, and it's just like a binary let me go through. And yet, I feel like that is, once again, indicative and keeping in line with the Combine's military technology, and it's technology in general, mindset. It probably is this wonderfully brute force lock that just prevents you from advancing unless you have the generic code to advance. And human ingenuity is more than enough, in her case, to allow her a circumstance in which she can hack the system and allow her through. Also, yes, spoilers are totally allowed. I also enjoy the idea of basically the fact that the Combine the computer system basically is like very basic. I'm trying to think of a real life example.
Hey, it worked. Let's see what I can do to clear the way for you.
Like the idea that imagine if all of the Combine systems are running on Windows 95, and she up there is used to working with Linux. Now, I'm not saying Linux is better than Windows 95. What I am saying is that Linux is ridiculously more complicated than Windows 95, and to use it at all, you have to know how to work your way around and through things. You have to basically be of a coder mentality to use Linux, or Unix for that matter, appropriately, right? So, someone doing that, trying to hack into Windows 95, they're just going to crush everything. They're just going to be like, oh, okay, I got this. Anyways, that's just generally the way I tend to think of that. And as was pointed out, she's probably grown up with this tech since she has grown up in this era.
Damn, it's jammed. Okay, I've got an idea. Head back to that office. According
Hi.
to the schematics, there should be a vent behind those shelves.
Excuse me. Well, I won't, Silver Dragoon, because I hate Linux. That's the worst thing ever. But no, seriously, the point is not the superiority or the inferiority. The point is that you know a lot more if you're used to one than the other. Yeah, I know, XCAC. I mentioned that in the Rumination, I think. Did I mention that in the Rumination? I feel like I did. Because, again, one of the points of this section, to just reiterate this, is that the Combine is not all-powerful. The Combine is not some great, powerful overlords. They're just good at controlling and trying to make sure that everyone feels like they're much more powerful than they are. Which, again, goes back to that brute force mentality. It's a lot easier to pretend you're stronger than to actually be strong. It's a lot easier to pretend you're in charge than to actually be in charge. I mean, this place is a mess. I mentioned that earlier. They're losing to the head crabs and to ant lions and to just general degradation. Windows ME is probably the worst OS I've ever seen. See you around, Chemic. Oh, right. Yes, I do, Axcac. I was doing that when I was doing the Gravity Gun Only challenge a little bit ago. Fine. I'm not sure I even agree with that, Illyria. Windows ME was pretty bad. And that's the amazing technological power of the Combine. Can be shoved over. No, you should not, Shadow. Absolutely not. There are many reasons why. The best reason why is Windows 10 doesn't add anything that Windows 7 doesn't already have. Not everything supports Windows 10, is reason number 2. And reason number 3 is the fact that, due to the way it works, that free upgrade you get to Windows 10 only applies while that deal applies. So, let's say something happens in a few years, and you lose your OS or your hard drive or whatever, and you want to reinstall Windows 10. Well, that's bloody tough, because you don't own Windows 10. You got a free upgrade to Windows 10. So now you have to buy a new OS just to get things installed. Or, of course, you could just install Windows 7 again. I also really don't like a lot of the features of 10, personally.
Quick, search the room. There should be some Combine turrets nearby. I can reprogram these turrets to attack the enemy. Set them up to defend.
So, I admit I actually like the defense section here, and again, this is some good tutorialization in game design. In other words, we're about to do, probably, in my opinion, the hardest thing in this entire game, which is the hold the line while teleporting mission. When I was doing this game on hard difficulty, that just really, really killed the crap out of me. So, yeah. Apparently... Yeah, I'll give myself a little bit of whatever. So yeah, this is them tutorializing the hold the line mission, which is going to be happening in just a minute. I'm gonna go quiet for a bit. I haven't eaten dinner yet. It's probably cold by now, so I'm just gonna mute myself and eat while I play. So, yeah, I'm still here.
Watch your turrets. Sorry it took me so long. Glad to see you're okay. Let's see if we can find Mossman. It looks like this station might give me better access. There she is. Wait a minute. How'd she...
It's from your area.
I'm not calling about that.
What's she up to?
You promised you weren't going to touch Eli.
Oh my
The
god.
soldiers were a bit overzealous, I admit, but he was too tempting a prize to simply turn loose, especially in the absence of Gordon Freeman.
You would have had Freeman if you'd been patient and just waited for my signal.
We weren't entirely sure you were ever going to get around to that. Human loyalties being what they are.
Dr. As I have stated before, you have to let Eli come around on his own.
I
You
have
can't just-
known Dr. Vance far longer than you, my dear. I'm afraid your feelings for him may have blinded you.
Feelings? This has nothing to do with feelings. It's a simple truth that when Eli believes
This
our...
is not open to debate, Dr. Mossman.
Doctor, please.
So sorry, Judith. I'm all out of time.
Damn her! I don't believe this! Come on, Gordon. Now we've really got to hurry. Go on ahead. I'll disrupt the next level of security and catch up with you when I can.
Warning. Surveillance and detection systems inactive. Remaining stabilization team members report containment status, please.
Okay, done shoveling food down my throat. So, Darkrai, did you ever ask your question, by the way? Your big political question. Ah! Ah! Hey Rose, what's up? By the way, my opinion on the OS thing really quick. I like Windows. Windows 7, to be more clear. It works. It does what I need it to do. I can customize it to look how I want it to. The end. I don't like Linux, or Unix. Nothing really against them, just not my thing. I don't like having to fiddle with them. I don't like having to mess with it. I don't like Macintosh. Shrug. Just a preference thing on that one. It might not have shown up, Darkrai. That might be why I never saw it. Twitch automatically censors texts that are too long, so it might have just not popped up. I do have a YouTube channel. If you look up the Lore Runner on YouTube, or simply Arshan Gaia as it is spelled here, you will find me with great ease. I might have it linked down below, too. Sometimes I can make that jump. No! No! Okay. Yes, I know I'm invincible. I don't care. I just feel like doing this jumping puzzle. It's a fun jumping puzzle. Ah! As I fail Oh, whatever. And then I'm dead. I don't know, really, I don't. Excuse me. Sneezing. One thing I do know Twitch you can do on Twitch is you can just look for people playing a game, like apparently Vista did. And you can just be like, aha, there's some guy streaming that game. And Lord knows I stream a ton of games, so a lot of my viewers show up for, you know, the one game and then they kind of move on. Apparently, if you Google search Arsene Gaia, this is the first result. I'm invincible. Wait. Ah. Oh, who knows, StarCraft. It's like the whole, if you like A best, then that means you must not like B, C, or D. Argument all over again. Whoops. Like I said, I'm just trying to get through this at this point, Xcard. We did actually make it through the race, and quite a ways further than that, even. Believe it or not. Then the chat voted for me to upgrade the bus because it was getting a little infeasible. Oh yeah, that's another way people can find me on Twitch. Through my YouTube, because I have that whole, hey, I'm streaming thing set up.
Contact has moved to Block 3A. Warning. Sterilizer and consent.
Tull said he got bored of trolling, so he just kind of stopped interacting with the chat, basically. Excuse me. We all miss Tull and his unique brand of trolling. The trolling that I allowed because it wasn't actually trolling. It works fluidly, Chaos. There are no rules. So, that's your answer. Screw it. Over we go. God, I have no idea.
More incoming soldiers. See if there's some more turrets nearby.
I don't... Really? Yeah, Dragoon. I found that funny too once upon a time. Then I got depressed. You're funny, Baronessa. Really, Jasper? That's hilarious. That's never occurred to me. So you just kind of... Actually, so we'd be like here-ish. Physics puzzles. For the win. And then we put this like here. Whoop, whoop, and then we knock everything over because we're stupid and clumsy oafs. Gordon! Come on, you're not showing off that PhD, Gordon. Are they ever gonna attack? I'm just screwing around while I wait for them here. Well then. I haven't seen McGrots in a while either. I haven't seen a lot of viewers in a while. The Gawas have vanished too. And, oh, the attack. I have to move the turrets. Where are the friggin' turrets? Oh, here they are. Fine.
Quick, get these set up. I'm seeing soldiers in all directions.
You will all vanish, Shadow. But then you'll be reborn in the great convalescence. Zunk. Alright. Darkrai, welcome to the modern era of imprisonment, aka, technically we can't do that kind of a thing without call or precedence, but in reality we totally can do that. And I don't mean we as in, you know, the United States, I mean we as in humanity. I allowed it, Shadow. He specifically asked permission and I allowed it. Anyways, the point being, it's terrible, but there's nothing else to be added to that. It's terrible. The end. So do I have to kill these guys? Because I can do that. In fact, I think that'd be more interesting than just sitting up here. That just amuses me to do that. Excuse me.
More soldiers.
More soldiers. No. You know what I hear when I hear more soldiers? Soldiers. More ammunition. Fallout 3. Frag Tagger. Easy answer. I don't even have to think about that one. Half-Life 2's world is honestly one of the worst, like, ever, when you really think about it. It's a level of oppression and horror and despair and pointlessness that few other settings accomplish. And as we pointed out earlier, it is debatable if humanity is even capable of surviving Half-Life 2. Not living, not getting back to the point where there's a society and a culture. No, 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 no. Just surviving. Maybe that's why they didn't do Half-Life 3. They were like, Half-Life 3, and then Gordon is the last human alive. Except we know Gordon is not the last human alive. It's Chell. Spoiler alert. Although that's if you subscribe to the theory that Portal 2 actually does occur a jagillion years in the future, which, honestly, the more I think about that, the more I think that's ridiculous and stupid. By the way, this is once again the Combine's mentality in a nutshell. Well, one of our highest priority soldiers, or targets, is in an area. We need to rush in here and, you know, deal with this situation. So how do we do it? Send wave after wave of our own troops. No tactics, no subtlety, no special technology. Just send in the manhack, send in the troops. It's always worked before, so it'll always work again. The Combine are the ultimate, every problem looks like a nail kind of people. Now, they do have a big hammer, as I mentioned in the 7-Year War discussion, but any real enemy could just crush the Combine. It's probably one of those reasons why that theory about the Combine being afraid of humanity's potential is valid. Because we could actually think. God, yeah, no kidding, Jasper. The Borg, yes, in all honesty, I think the Borg are better tacticians than the Combine. You know why? The Borg can adapt. They do adapt. They have adapted. Adapt, adapt, adapt. What do the Combine do? Oh god, I almost shot her.
Sorry to take so long.
The Combine are like, hammer, 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 hammer. Wait, it's not working.
I won't leave you again.
Pull out a second hammer, hammer,
Let's
hammer,
track
hammer,
down
hammer.
Mossman.
Yes, let's go find the ensign, or the admiral. Wow, she went from an ensign in Star Trek to a professor. Oh, by the way, interesting note there. I'm sorry, I meant to point this out, but I was eating. Judith constantly refers to Breen as Doctor. Remember, he's not a doctor. I mean, he might technically be a doctor, but he's not a scientist. He's not actually an intellectual. He's a moron who's an administrator. And yet she constantly refers to him as doctor. Two possibilities on this. One, he insists everyone calls him doctor because he's an intellectual. Or two, she is deliberately trying to manipulate him by getting on his good side and, you know, schmoozing him, basically. I'm sorry, Shadow. Truthfully, the Borg are, well, terrifying. He might have his doctorate, but that doesn't make him a doctor. It doesn't make him a scientist. It makes him a guy with a piece of paper. And as I've talked about many times, he's an idiot. He is a demonstrable idiot. So guys, pro tip in the future, if you're going to knock out the lights, don't immediately throw down flares so you can see.
Come on.
Well, in that case, that's a tough one, Zero, because both of those are pretty terrible. But I think I'd probably go ahead and go with Half-Life in that case, just because I could shoot myself.
Where are you? Ha. Found her. Ha! Got you now. Uh-oh. Well, come on, Gordon. We don't want to keep her waiting.
Well, Chaos doesn't actually adapt, so easy answer. So, DS, I'm curious, are you playing Devil's Advocate, or you honestly think Bremen is a intelligent type character, villain, etc.?
Let me seal this door. No turning back now. There she is. Leave the talking to me, Gordon. We
Leave the
need
talking to
that.
you, if you insist.
Hello? Oh, thank God someone... Alex?
Hi.
Gordon, how did you get in here?
We know all about
Guns.
you and Green.
What?
You've been a spy for the Combine the whole time.
What are you talking about?
Damn it! Move back, Mossman. We're coming in.
Can I shoot her?
Whatever you may think, I assure
Can I shoot her?
you, I work to protect your father.
Can I shoot her?
Shut up and be glad you're still some use to us. We're going to
Okay, I
reconfigure
think I
the
see where you're going
teleport
with that,
and get the
Dios.
hell out of here.
You see, we're working to the same end. I've already reprogrammed the modulator to emulate a Zen relay.
Can I shoot her?
My father's work you stole.
It's my work too. And I had to prove to Dr. Breen that your father would be the most valuable member of any research effort going forward.
Enough of your bullshit! Look, Gordon, there's my dad. I'm going to bring him in.
You found Eli?
No thanks to you. Just enter the coordinates for Dr. Kleiner's lab and let's get moving.
But we
I
need
think so,
access to
Jasper.
the teleport platform and we're locked out.
I'll take care of that.
So,
Let's get going.
this is the hardest section of the entire game for me. The defense of this room. Playing this on hard difficulty, with no cheats, is insane. I'm curious of your guys' thoughts. Hardest section of the game? Yes, no?
Oh my god. You've been working with this thing? For how long?
Never. Until now. I did have a fairly good idea of what to expect.
I'll bet you did. It looks like it's waiting for us.
The Combine uses a peculiar pulse-forming network with a very long rise time. Takes quite a while to recharge.
So you've warmed it up for us. Good. And just in time. Dad, down here!
I'll
Sorry
shoot
we
them
took
for
so
you,
long. I
Bregman.
hope that wasn't too
In
bad
due
for
time.
you.
Don't worry about me, sweetheart. Judith! I see they set you free.
Not exactly.
Eli! I was so worried about
The coordinates, Dr. Mossman.
So, this is the Combine. It's smaller than I imagined.
Again,
Hurry up, Mossman!
I just realized a great way to explain what I was talking about earlier with the Combine tech. Yeah, I know, I keep talking about it. Forgive me. There's a great part of the Foundation trilogy by Isaac Asimov, where he points out that the old empire has so much resources and so much to draw on that they never bothered to improve their technologies past a certain point. So in order to generate the power for a force field for like a city or whatever, or even a small small building, they had huge generators with huge planets dedicated to huge stuff. Everything was big, big, big. The people in the Outer Rim, they didn't have the technology, they didn't have the resources, they didn't have the massive space to spurn, so they had to innovate. And they have portable force field generators, ones you can literally carry around on your belt. Same basic technology, but improved and refined and made much more precise. I think that's probably the best way I could ever explain the Combine thing in a nutshell. Big, huge, plong, and still advanced, but not actually that advanced, really.
We're in Nova Prospect, and we're running the Zen emulation for the first time. Are you ready for us?
Ready, willing, and fully enabled.
USB, Grunzler. Not that I know anything about that.
What's that? Hold on, gotta bring this back down.
So...
Oh, stop! What are you doing?
I'm sorry, Alex. It's the only way.
No! Get back!
What's going on,
Dad!
Alex? Judith! What's happening?
It's if anybody has watched my Voyager Ruminations, it's actually very similar to...
Oh my god! What coordinates are these? Where the hell did she take him?
What was that episode? Year of Hell. I mentioned during my rumination of the Year of Hell that the Jackass Empire, whose name I can't remember right now, they basically had one weapon. They were a one-trick pony. And yet that trick was so impressive that they never really needed to invent any other tricks. So they never innovated, they never dealt with anything. The one moment Voyager was finally able to actually work around their tech, they were at a complete loss. Following Voyager, but not even firing because they couldn't think of anything to do. There's another way to explain the Combine. Yeah, by the way, you can put them back up. Once again, us using their tech better than them. Yeah, pretty much, Javan. It's the whole creativity and writing thing all over again. I honestly don't remember where to put these turrets if I'm being wholly blunt. Freaking random. No. Back up. Back up. Back up. Come on. Yeah, whatever. Fine. If I must. Come on. Oh, there we go. Yay. Okay, so let's put one. Y'all. Yeah, let's put one here.
God, it's taking forever.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I think this is right. I'm gonna use the Combine strategy here. Yep, stretch. Yep, let my technology do the job for me. Yeah, I know, right? It's taking forever. They did make a point of mentioning that it takes absolutely frickin' forever to power up. Seconds, huh?
God, it's done. Get the hell out of here.
So, what's about to happen is kind of cool, in my opinion.
Okay, Doc, locked on. Come on, Gordon. Get in.
I'm already here. So they come in with the elite troops, those guys. And, well, they killed themselves. Because, as we're about to find out, Nova Prospekt is about to go boom. Imagine the amount of power necessary to teleport someone, and... Now, this is actually fascinating, because Combine tech is so far behind ours that it's actually literally a slow teleport.
My God, we made it.
I know that sounds weird, but
Where's Dr. Kleiner?
it's... I don't know how to explain it, but it just makes a degree of
Dr.
sense.
Kleiner, let us out!
In a weird sort of a way.
Alex? Gordon? My God, how did you get here? And when?
What's wrong?
My dear, I had given up hope of ever seeing you again.
I was afraid we might not make it either. I think the teleport exploded just as we were porting out.
Indeed, it did. And the repercussions were felt far and wide, but that was over a week ago.
What do you mean? Gordon and I were just there a minute ago.
Fascinating.
By the way, one thing that has been mentioned, I don't know what I think of this theory personally, but it is entirely possible that the G-Man uses this kind of slow teleport in order to get you from point A to point B, basically teleporting... basically, imagine a slow teleport, except you control that, so you can determine when and where they arrive. And thus the G-Man has an advanced version of that teleporter. So he took you at the end of Half-Life 1 and slow teleported you, see you around, Silver, to the beginning of Half-Life 2. So again, for all intents and purposes, from your perspective, it's practically instantaneous. But from everyone else's perspective, 20 years has passed.
We seem to have developed a very slow teleport. This suggests an entirely new line of investigation.
Just tossing out theory crafting.
A week? Then what have we missed?
A great deal, my dear.
Yes, the
glowing
revolution has
destructive
begun.
Nova Prospekt.
But I gotta be honest, I don't feel like running through this section, so we're gonna skip forward to... Oh, wow.
Was
Nova Prospekt, follow Freeman, our benefactors. I gotta be honest, of all the parts of this game, going through the rebellion thing is my least favorite part. So, here's the Citadel. Hi, Citadel. Now, what's about to happen is awesome for at least two reasons. First of all, this is some great design on the thing. I just feel like pointing that out. But that's not the real thing. Absolutely not, Axcac. I have too many people I care about I would miss. And I would hope they would miss me too, although I will not be so arrogant just to pursue. Yeah, think about it, Samurai. Think about how significant it would be to have that power on the combat side. Have fun! Did I go the right way? I'm thinking no. Oh, here we go. Duh. They call me the Observant Runner. So I gotta be honest, a lot of these sections are pretty claustrophobic for me. Great atmosphere, just like there was in a lot of other sections of this game. I'm not sure what I think of it, Darkrai. I think personally that they were trying to push things into a different direction with both games, and ended up sifting it out so there was more Portal in Portal, and more Half-Life in Half-Life. They also might have fallen to the, I'm just going to put it this way, fallacy of, oh, one continuity, that'll be a bad thing, that I've heard, for example, Marvel say recently. Actually, yeah, that's a great way to put that, Night Forager. So, here's those people. Except you notice there's no one in there. So, what the hey, right? Where are they? I gotta be honest. This is the point at which, if this was a D&D campaign, the campaign would stop, because I would never, ever get in one of these things. You have a choice. Do you get in the one that kills you, or the one that goes the other way? So, we will willingly hop into the pod here, because we're stupid. Seriously, I would never, ever get in one of these things. This gives us an insight into the architectural design of the Combine. This is arguably the only time we ever see the architecture of the Combine. And it's pretty bleh. On purpose, of course. Can't see now. See, I've been wondering that, Vista. Why would you allow people to get into the sterilizing pods? And then again, maybe it's to allow people to get out? I don't know. I honestly don't think they would care one way or another if someone was in the sterilizing pods. Again, by the way, the pipes, kind of similar to veins, blood vessels. Again, getting this idea of the organic technology thing going. The organic-synthetic combination thing. There we see one of the stalker people just walking around. Before they've been stalkered, of course. And we see lots of these things here, which gets across the implication that they're not just doing that stuff at Nova Prospect, but, and this is more important, this is, well, let's just say that the implication here is that they are mass-producing transhuman forces. Not just stalkers, but the general Combine forces and whatnot. Think about how many people have been kidnapped and brought here to be not only experimented on, but turned into that. Which again reinforces the, I almost want to call it scavenger nature of the Combine. Because their army is just consistent of forces they have converted. Also, of course, there's these things. Again, organo-synth technology. Or synth-organic, depending on how you want to look at that. Those things are bastards to fight, I just like to say. But yeah, it does look like they just stopped building it halfway, because, alright, this is done. But yeah, that's kind of the point I've been trying to make this entire time, Kay. These people don't care about living. They don't have lives. There is no Combine culture. We've got the Collector's thing going on here. Do you remember Morton's speech about the Collector? And how they are just utterly devoid of anything that makes up life? I feel like that's literally what we have going with the Combine. They take a world, consume it, its resources and its people, and then take another world and consume it and its people. And that's it. There's no goal. There's no person who's like, oh, we must conquer everything. It's not like they need the resources. They're doing it because that's what they do. And I gotta be honest, that's one of the most horrifying thoughts I have in this game. One of the most implied horrifying thoughts I have in this game. The idea that the Combine are survival for survival's sake. No more and no less. So the entire game, especially if you're playing on hard difficulty, you've been kind of behind scrabbling for scrabbling for ammo, and trying to use all your different weapons, all to the best extent of your ability, and trying to do the best thing you can. And then we lose all of it, and they literally vaporize all of your weapons except for one. The one that has tech they can't interact with properly. This is brilliant for two wonderful reasons. Reason number one, the lore implications of this. The reason number two, BAM! BAM! BAM!
So this...
And that's reason number two. If you don't understand, I can explain a little bit. This is basically the reward. We were given the gravity gun earlier, but it had severe limitations in its usage. And we were given all these other weapons which we basically had to use in combat. And for this section, they give us the Doom gun and say, you know what? You've earned it. Have fun. And we do. This whole section is just... because we suddenly have the Doom gravity gun, which can literally one-shot enemies.
As you will surely agree, very pleasant. Well, I am nothing if not pragmatic.
BAM! This is the earning it mentality right here. It's one of the most common mentalities when it comes to gameplay. This is also... Remember I had that huge speech during the FF4 in-depth review? I talked about it during the FF6 one a little bit too, and the Chrono Trigger one. Why have all the good stuff at the end, right? I talked about that. I was like, why? Why make it so you can't actually enjoy it? Well, there is, and I've been kind of saving this because I knew I was going to talk about Half-Life for Halloween. There is one really good reason to save the good stuff, the really big gun for the end, and that is you've earned it. You have now gotten through the game. You've managed all the careful ammunition. And used the strategies in every section and been able to push your way through each ambush and blah blah blah. And now you're just given a Doom gun, which just is fun in addition to being extremely overpowered.
We might have been able to work together in an atmosphere of mutual trust and respect.
BAM!
Certainly, judging from your brief tenure at Black Mesa while I was its administrator, you showed every promise of becoming a valuable and productive contributor to the scientific process. And yet, I'm not sure what spurred you to it. But there is really no place in this enterprise for a rogue physicist.
Ham. And yeah, by the way, this is your first time you actually fight the elite troops. We saw them earlier, so we know what they are. We know that they're the elite troops. But no. BAM! Oh, thank you for pointing it out, Clavium. I've been casual about my health. I'm okay with it being turned off. I don't really need it for this section. Except for the one section, which I might die at, but whatever. If I die, tell my wife I said hello. Oh yeah, they also give us these things. So... See that thing right there? That is the power source of the Combine. Right here. Now, we know very little about this, other than the fact that they use it as a power source. And that it is incredibly destructive. Also, given the ridiculous amount of power they're producing here, well, I mean, that makes sense, given the Citadel itself. They would kind of need that kind of power. It does kind of make you wonder, though, doesn't it? Oh yeah, that's another thing. Thank you, Javin, for pointing that out. The reward gun is not just a really big gun like the, what's it called? The Tesla cannon in Fallout 3 that you get in Broken Steel, or the BFG in Doom. They give you the Ultra Gravity gun. And again, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier about how you can, how the gravity gun itself is a perfect gun for a game like this with the brand new physics engine and all that fun stuff. So that was about 15 or so troops that I just obliterated with very little damage to myself, including elites, and a lot of these have automatics and whatnot, and the numbers just keep growing here. And I'm just making the point. This is the moment in which Gordon Freeman is officially tired of their crap. Now, you might ask why they let you pull the monitors off the wall. The reason's actually really simple. You've never been able to do that before. It's a way of showcasing how strong you've gotten and how powerful your gun is by the fact that you can literally pull things that otherwise were untouchable. Yeah, exactly, Night Forger. Absolutely. Whoop, wrong way.
Your mentors are partly to blame, of course. My disappointment in Eli Vance and Isaac Kleiner is far greater than my sorrow over your unfortunate choice of career path. In a way, I suppose you could not have done otherwise. Who knows what seeds of iconoclasm they planted when you were young and gullible, but while they certainly share a great
I was young.
responsibility
You mean like a week
for
ago?
recent troubles, it is you alone who have chosen to act in such willful disregard for humanity's future.
Humanity's future, ladies and gentlemen. BAM! Into the chasm. Also, and I'm not accusing them of anything here. Hey, I hung around Darkrai just so he could talk. I could have taken that thing out, but no, I wanted to hear his stupid, ugly voice. Where are those guys? Oh, there they are. I couldn't even see my own enemy. Aw, too far away. Yeah, he gets really preachy in this section. You could tell he's starting to feel some really serious problems are on his doorstep. And it's funny because theoretically, he should be like, oh, well, he's in my main fortress, I'm fine. And yet he feels terrified of Freeman. It could be argued, as Diaz pointed out earlier, that he is in fact intelligent, because he recognizes that the fact that Freeman is in his fortress is a pretty bad thing. And he gets more and more panicked. Well, I wouldn't say panicked. His manner of speech changes over the course of this. He gets angrier. Like, oh, why are you doing something so incredibly stupid? You know, that kind of thing. So, fun little fact, the way this gun works is the moment you grab them, they die instantly. They turn into ragdoll physics, which is the die instantly trigger in this game. So, literally, you just grab them and they're dead. Yes, I did, actually, Darkrai. Again, emphasizing that whole, you've earned it, go destroy the world mentality. As usual, Combine technology is incredibly slow. Oh, hey, we're here. Yay. Mass Effect joke. Wow, actually got him on the rebound. What are you linking me, Baronessa? Huh. I have never put that together, admittedly. Ah, hi! Yeah, if you don't feel like screwing around, you can just do what I just did there. Sometimes I wonder, in fiction, why they just keep attacking even though they're being slaughtered. You ever notice that? That happens in a lot of fiction. It pisses me off in some games. And yet, what amuses me most is this is probably one of the only examples of a game where the evil force is still attacking you with wave after wave of troops, and yet it makes perfect sense for their mentality. It is actually logical for them to just send wave after wave of their own troops against you. They are quite literally trying to zap Brannigan us. And they just happen to be failing, because we're not killbots. Whoa, crap. Whoa. Well, damn, we gotta do the whole elevator all over again. That's a fair enough point, Dios. I can't even tell what actually killed me. I know I got knocked off, but I'm not even... I think my shot actually knocked me off because I pulled the energy thing to me. Them attacking me over and over is not going to work! Oh, I'm glad you like it, Omni. Like I said, or rather you said, $10. I should probably stop using those things. That's what killed me last time. Into the energy field, flyboy. Ever wanted to see a man disintegrate in front of your very eyes? The elevator's like, oh, you killed them all. Okay. Well, hey. Gordon is a theoretical physicist, okay? Oh, we're here.
Tell me, Dr. Freeman, if you can. You have destroyed so much.
I have?
What is it exactly that you have created? Can you name even one thing? I thought not.
Again, listen to how desperate he's starting to get. He's starting to come up with basically incredibly bad arguments to try and convince you to stop. Wait a minute, he's right. I have not created anything. I have merely destroyed. That is the 100% accurate statement, and I should put down my gun immediately. Yeah. Aw. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Okay, I need you to be, like, here. I'm just going to demonstrate something. Watch as he disintegrates before our very eyes. Remember, kids, recycle. I also like the idea that they're just randomly firing weapons in areas that look like they'd be a lot more sensitive to weapon fire. What, Darkrai? Yeah, I know they do act cack, but it is funny that, you know, they're just kind of like, screw it. It just, yeah.
I have laid the foundation for humanity's survival.
You have?
And not as we have narrowly defined ourselves, but as something greater than we could ever imagine.
Uh-huh.
Something we can now only begin to glimpse.
Uh-huh. You, right. Now that's the one I'm a little more worried about. Whoops, I didn't mean to pick that up. He actually dodged the blast. That's hilarious. I hate fighting these things. Oh. So, as we were saying.
Look, Gordon. Look at what you are throwing away. Is it worth it?
What am I throwing away? Seriously. Gordon, how could you possibly throw... Now, the thing I find interesting, most villains who are in the position of Breen tend to be like, you know, I'm going to give you all these reasons why humanity sucks. It's, you know what it is, it's the humanity sucks speech. Oh, it doesn't necessarily have to be humanity, but it's always the same speech. Ah, wars, famine, pestilence, plague, slavery, horribleness, criminals, etc. Therefore, we would be better off if I was right and we were all robots, or you know, consumed with the Combine, or turned into xenomorphs, or whatever, you know. So that being said, Breen never makes that argument. Not really. And I think, again, that goes back to his not even having that mentality thing of just being the guy who's like, yep, I'm smart. I don't get why Gordon does this. Really, I don't. Now, until episode 2 came out, I could have theorized that what's about to happen was indicative. He doesn't look happy. Is indicative of the mentality of the advisors and the leaders of the ship of the Combine. As we found out, that's not actually 100% true. If you don't know what I mean, we're being taken up to his, you know, after fighting through all these troops and all these soldiers, Breen just pulls him into, pulls us into his office and is like, yep, hey, what's up? No guards, no nothing, just, hey. And I feel like that was indicative of the mentality of, well, our technology will defend us and we have no problems or difficulties dealing with it. By the way, here's that pipeway thing going again. Much more organic looking this high up. God, we've got to be really high up at this point. And just the casual arrogance of it, basically. Naturally, as we find out later, it's not just casual arrogance. I'm really tempted to turn up the graphics for this section, but it'll have streaming issues, so I won't. As we find out later, the Combine, the advisors do actually have a protection. They do have telekinetic powers. So they're not completely defenseless on their own, which kind of shoots that theory out the window. This, oh, I wish the graphics were turned up for this. This is gorgeous. This is City 17. Oh, they're not in episode, yeah, I guess you're right, they're not. The army being gathered that we will never see again. Yeah, we are way the hell up here, by the way. Well, it's actually a picture of a real-life city, if memory serves. I don't remember which. So they take my gun. Hey, that's Froman right there. Check it out.
I'll take him from here. Don't struggle. It's no use. Until you're where he wants you, there's nothing you can do.
Did you watch me kill, like, a few hundred guys down there? Like, a few hundred. Also, I've always wondered what were, like, being moved on. There's no rail in here.
Inhabited by vast meteorological intelligences, worlds stretched thin across the membranes where the dimensions intersect. Impossible to describe with our limited vocabulary.
What I've seen is also beyond words, Breen. Genocide. Indescribable evil. Good God.
Well, if it isn't Gordon Freeman at last. What's this? I'll put it over there.
Look at his casual arrogance at the gun that we have used to destroy, effectively, a small army. Well, let's just put it over there.
You have my gratitude, Doctor. First you lead me straight to the doorstep of my oldest friend, and then you deliver yourself. If I'd known you were going to come straight up to my office, I wouldn't have bothered hunting you in the first place.
I just want to point out one thing in this room, by the way. Let's get rid of this freaking console on the screen. This is probably the only nice-looking room in the entire game. Literally the whole game. Remember how I mentioned how the Combine don't look pristine and nice? And in most of the cases when you have a dystopian thing, you know, there's someone who's on top of the heap, who's benefiting from the detriment of the masses. That is Breen here. Absolutely. He's got the carpet, he's got the nice desk made of wood, he's got the nice view, the polished glasses. His entire room is this wonderful, pristine, you know, I am on top thing. It all gets across that feel of, I'm in charge, I have the benefits of rule. By the way, you guys have heard me talk about the difference between someone who wants to rule and someone who wants the benefits of rule. In my opinion, Breen is absolutely someone who wants the benefits of rule, not rule itself. Oh, yeah, he's got a nice chair, too.
Both of you in my keeping ensures I can dictate the terms of any bargain I care to make with the Combine.
Dr. Breen.
Huh.
Wallace.
Yes, Judith, what is it?
The bargain we should be making is for Eli's life so he can continue his research.
Thanks to you, we have everything we need in that regard. You're more than qualified to finish his research yourself. What neither you nor I can do is convince that rabble in the streets to give up their senseless struggle. Yet Eli refuses to speak the words that would save them all.
Save them? For what?
Eli, if you won't do the right thing for the good of all people, maybe you'll do it for one of them.
Alex, honey.
Dad. Gordon?
Hi.
God damn you, Breen, you let her go.
That's all up to you, my old friend. Will you let your stubborn short-sightedness doom the entire species?
I want to stress again, there are no soldiers
Will
in
you
this
give
room.
your child the chance her mother never had.
How
There's not
dare
even
you
any weapons
mention her?
in this room.
Alex,
Except for the
maybe
one
you
we
have your
brought, of
mother's
course.
eyes, but your father's stubborn nature.
You haven't seen a bit of it yet.
Really? Well, let's see how well it serves you on the far side of a Combine portal.
Go ahead, Breen. If that's the worst you can do, send us both through your portal.
Oh, it's hardly the worst. But you might find that hard to believe once you get there.
It isn't necessary.
I agree. It's a total waste. Fortunately, the Resistance has shown it is willing to accept a new leader. And this one has proven to be a fine
He's got a little
pawn
clock
for
and a
those
globe
who
of the world,
control
too.
him.
No.
Arrogant snot.
How about it, Dr. Freeman?
And a nice
Did you
suit, by
realize
the
your
way.
contract was open to the
Which
highest bidder?
nobody else has. Oh, yeah, okay, that line right there. Did you not realize your contract was open to the highest bidder? That's one of the only things he says, ever, that actually indicates he might have some understanding or knowledge of the G-Man situation. And again, goes back to that whole thinking of the G-Man as the one person who actually has a understanding of economics in the series. It's a tiny line, and again, it's something Half-Life 2 has been doing this whole time. I've pointed it out several times, where they just slide something under the rug in such a casual tone and casual conversation that you're not really supposed to think about it unless you're paying attention.
I'd never make any kind of deal with you.
I understand if you don't wish to discuss this in front of your friends. I'll send them on their way, and then we can talk openly.
Don't struggle, honey.
Dad, I'm so sorry.
Alex, sweetheart.
Oh, he said the fine pawn thing, too.
Judith?
Sorry.
What do you think you're doing?
We're doing what I could never do alone. We're stopping you.
Yes.
Guards, get in here.
They know you betrayed them. They'll turn on you. Judith, Dr. Mossman, please.
I'm sorry, Wallace. You're all out of time. Don't.
So, this is funny.
Hurry! Dad,
He has
hang
no idea
on.
what he's doing.
You fool!
He can barely even carry the
Watch
thing.
out, he's gonna...
No!
Literally, can barely even carry the damn thing, let alone fire it. And then he runs off without it, because we've established this before.
Dad.
He's an idiot.
Oh, no. Don't worry about me, honey.
There's no time, Alex. He's on his way to the.
Well, he doesn't
port.
run out without it, but
You'll
we'll
need this.
explain in a moment.
Dr. Mossman, Judith, look after my father.
Don't you worry.
Dad, I'm not saying goodbye.
Never.
Come on, Gordon. Let's go.
My girl.
Now, obviously that should have killed you, but I like the implication that Gordon is simply better at using the tools than
We haven't
Breen
known
is.
each other very long,
Which
but
kind of makes sense, actually.
I know you didn't have to do this. I had to rescue my father, but you... Well... Thanks for coming after me.
By the way, one of the other things I love about Breen, he's a dirty, slimy, sneaky, sniveling worm, right? But, well... Imagine a situation in which there's one power, nation, group, country, species, whatever, and another power shows up and is like, and basically just starts winning. Who do you think is going to be the person who ends up at the top of the heap after the first power surrenders? Intelligent, brilliant leaders, charismatic men, evil, villainous, good? No. It's these slimy little weasels who will weasel their way in and say, "Oh, yes, come, my new overlords. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Your boots taste so wonderful today. Mwah, mwah." So it actually makes a lot of sense that Breen is the one who is basically sitting at the top of the heap here. Which is even funnier because it also is a wonderful way to explain why he's relatively easy to topple. If you don't know what I mean by that, one of the biggest difficulties any writer faces when introducing a situation where there's bad guys to be defeated is making them a threat and yet making them defeatable, right? As much as I love the Borg, one of the biggest problems they made with the Borg was they didn't really write themselves a way out of that situation. There was no defeat clause. But I feel like most of the most well-written villains are the ones that effectively help defeat themselves, either through their flaws or their power or their nature or whatever. Breen...
Hey, listen.
He's pathetic.
That's him.
The portal destination is untenable. Surely you can't set the relay elsewhere. There's no way I can survive in that environment. A host body? You must be joking. I can't possibly. Alright, damn it, whatever it takes. Hello, advisor. There's our PG-13 blowing right there. Oh, the Combine are pathetic. Oh yeah, by the way, he literally just abandons the damn thing. Idiot.
The gravity gun. He doesn't have a clue, does he?
No.
I wonder where he's going.
To hell.
Oh my god. This is the Citadel's dark fusion reactor. It powers their tunneling entanglement device. We'll never have a chance like this again. We've got to stop Dr. Breen.
I also like the idea that Breen is such a sniveling worm that he's willing to be transferred into a host body just to survive.
Turned over control to the other side.
Idiot.
You'll have to go into the core and do what you can.
Okay. I'm good with this.
Get in the elevator and I'll let you in. Don't forget to charge up your suit.
I have not heard that theory, Samurai.
Do your worst, Gordon. But be careful.
I got this. Note the musical cue right there, by the way. This is, for all intents and purposes, the last boss. And, unlike Half-Life 1, which had a definitive last boss in Nihilith, this is just fight a bunch of people while taking things out, while moving through this section, while doing a jumping puzzle, also physics, and, by the way, have fun.
Dr. Freeman, you really shouldn't be out there. At the moment of synapse, as I teleport, this chamber will be bathed in deadly particles that have yet to be named by human science. Perhaps when I have the leisure to do the work myself, I'll name one of them after you. That way you won't be completely forgotten. When the singularity collapses, I will be far away from here, in another universe, as a matter of fact. You, on the other hand, will be destroyed in every way it is possible to be destroyed, and even in some which are essentially impossible.
No? Oh. There we go. There we go.
Where did they come from?
Who cares? They're soldiers. I actually wouldn't be surprised by that either, Clavium. Again, that whole Combine just does not care thing. Excuse me. Oh, right.
I don't know what you can possibly hope to achieve apart from your own annihilation.
Listen, I like how even now he's pontificating about how powerless we are. Even now, oh shoot, he will continue doing that pretty soon for quite a while too. Honestly, you are literally in more danger of killing yourself in this section than you are from any of the enemies, which is the only difficulty I've ever had from this one. Yes, I realize I just died to that.
I don't know what you can possibly hope to achieve apart from your own annihilation.
My own annihilation, for my own sense of justice.
I warn you, this was futile.
Resistance is futile. I feel like I've heard that before. I should stop being so casual. I have a few more floors to go up. Is it this one? No, it's this one.
Great. Oh no, Breen started his ascent. Hurry, Gordon, before he escapes.
I'm kind of working on it. I don't have a jetpack or anything like that, so I'm stuck doing physics puzzles. Ugh. I'm sorry, Omni. I didn't mean to be so terrible. Hey, Professor Breen. I also like how he's still pretending at his own, you know, fnuff, fnuff, my farts smell better than anyone else's thing. Even at this point in time. He's got to understand the danger he's
That was
in.
pointless, Dr. Freeman.
Seriously, he has to understand to some extent or another he is in a very serious amount of danger. He's in a very unstable device, with very little understanding of how it actually works, with Gordon Freeman outside with the Doom gun. And at the same time, I find myself wondering if he actually is just genuinely that deluded, that he does not realize the nature of the threat.
Boundless energy for a useful purpose.
So there's the portal to... Notice we see another citadel through the portal, by the way. Oops.
I hope you said your farewells.
I actually showed this off at the beginning of this stream. And yeah, I still suck at this. You know, Kay, I honestly wouldn't be surprised by that either. And that's probably sad.
Go back, Freeman. You have no idea what you're doing.
Actually, I have a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. I like to call it the Wrecking Crew Special.
You don't know what you'll unleash. You could bring down this whole citadel. Think, man. Think of the people below. No!
Yeah.
You need me.
Come on, Gordon.
Yeah, sorry, Breen.
Got to get out of here. Maybe we still have.
Yeah. The end.
Time, Dr. Freeman? Is it really that time again? It seems as if you only just arrived. You've done a great deal in a small time span.
We will hide behind Alex. She will save us.
You've done so well, in fact, that I've received some interesting offers for your services. Ordinarily, I wouldn't contemplate them, but these are extraordinary times.
And there's that distinct G-Man teleporting
Rather
in.
than offer you the illusion of free choice, I will take the liberty of choosing for you, if and when your time comes round again. I do apologize for what must seem to you an arbitrary imposition, Dr. Freeman. I trust it will all make sense to you in the course of... well, I'm really not at liberty to say. In the meantime, this is where I get off.
One reason that people keep theorizing that he has at least some control over time, and I know it's kind of flimsy evidence, but there it is the fact that he keeps emphasizing that word. No, Alex is alive. We see her in episode 1 and episode 2. Personally, I do think that, yes, Axcac. So, Half-Life 2, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a 9-hour stream. Holy crap, this is going to take forever to upload to YouTube. Hope you guys have enjoyed my discussion about horror and horror games and non-horror games. Normally I'd keep going, but it's frickin' 9. So, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed. Lord knows I have. It's a great game to replay through. See you around, guys.